Okay. Thank you very much for having us. I actually feel like this is a little bit like the Eurovision Song Contest in a way, dialing in. Um, the Conscious Cup campaign is what I'm going to talk about, and we were very lucky to win in the Citizens Category Award for a Black Friday guerrilla campaign that we did in November last year. That there is myself and Declan. So my name is Sorka, and together we actually worked on an event that happened in a very busy area in Dublin. So I'm going to talk to you a bit about that.
Sorsha, just can you try to speak low? We have problems to hear you, or just go closer to your microphone, please.
Okay, is that better?
That's better.
No
better.
problem. Okay. So, sorry, I just want to go to the next slide. So the Conscious Cup campaign is actually a group of volunteers that met through Zero Waste Ireland Facebook page. Obviously, we know the Zero Waste movement is increasing across Europe, and in Ireland there's a Zero Waste Facebook page which has been increasing in numbers over the last 2 years on a consistent basis. We met through that page, and initially 2 of the members identified their concerns with disposable coffee cups not being recyclable in Ireland, or for that matter in most countries in the rest of the world. And we were very concerned by the amount of waste that was generated with the disposable coffee cups. So a committee was set up, and between all of us we probably have in excess of 100 years experience. And it's been great because we have all different industries. We have experience in marketing, communication, education, and right across the board we're all different personalities bringing something unique to the table to help each other. Okay, just clicking on. Are you able to hear me okay?
Yes, perfect right now.
Great. So what we actually did was we decided that the best way to try and change people's behavior was to create an incentive for people to carry their own reusable cup. And a very quick, easy way of doing that is to ask the cafes where they get a takeaway coffee from to offer a discount or an incentive to customers who bring in their own reusable cup. So the customer is actually benefiting from a reduction, and that's the reward that they benefit from. They also know that they're actually contributing towards reducing their impact and their waste. And then the cafes, on the other hand, they equally benefit because we put them onto a map that we have of Ireland, and we currently have over 1,000 cafes mapped on our social media. So that's accessible via Facebook and our website, where we have this map that you can see all our logos appearing there. And when somebody hovers over the icon or the logo, they actually can see the name of the cafe along with the discount or the incentive that is offered. Sorry. So what we decided to do was to hold an event on Black Friday, which is the 24th of November last year. Black Friday probably started in America. It was a day that was identified to have massive sales and price reductions in the run-up to Christmas to generate sales for retailers. It actually, I'm sure you've all seen footage of it on YouTube and videos of how crazy it can be in different countries, people queuing up, and it's all about consumption and purchasing. So we thought we would try and use that day as an awakening for people to realize about how much they were consuming. And in Dublin, we have one of the busiest streets in Europe, a pedestrianised shopping street called Henry Street. Especially in the whole run up to Christmas, it's crazy, covered in people. So Wolfstone Park is an area located just off Henry Street, and we identified that as a place we could set ourselves up, and we would be there around the lunch hour, which would be again the busiest time. We brought on board a radio station called Q102, and we asked them to promote what we were going to do that day across the radio stations. And we also had the use of their Blue Crew, which is a group of like blue cars which are identifiable with the Q102 logo, and the presence of those cars on Wolfstone Park also highlighted that there was, you know, an event taking place. So we called on supporters that we have who would go out and actually engage with the public, asking them questions that would be educational and would inform them about how coffee cups were not recyclable. So you can see there that we had our volunteers out on the streets asking people questions, and if the consumer answered a series of questions correctly, they were then invited to come to Wolfstone Park and collect a reusable cup. They also had to actually sign a pledge so that they felt some sort of commitment that they had indicated that they were going to carry a reusable cup and they were going to use their reusable cup. So we created a really good kind of buzz about the area that day, and lots of people were coming over and interacting with us then, wanting to know what we were doing and having conversations then about reuse. The whole idea is really to create a conscious consumer and awaken them to engaging in reuse activities. So reusable cups, which we had on the day, were actually they're actually a Keep cup. That's the name of the particular brand. But we don't mind whether people use any type of reusable cup. The ones that we had that day were actually funded by Dublin City Council. We had applied for funding for the cups, and we gave out approximately 600 cups that day to the public over the lunchtime. So you can imagine the amount of people that actually, you know, are in that area, in that vicinity, especially on Black Friday. In each box that every consumer received was a card, and in that card the consumer would actually understand a little bit more about what our campaign, how it worked, and what we would ask them to do. We would ask them in turn to actually deliver the card to a cafe that would in turn ask the cafe to become involved and offer a discount to any consumers who carried a cup. We believe it was a great success because rather than Keep cups simply being handed out directly to people free, which sometimes happens that people are given things for free and they don't exactly appreciate it, we asked them to interact with us, and we were able to educate them about reuse and about the fact that the coffee cups were not recyclable, the disposable ones were not. We were also able to shock them with statistics because we had the numbers, and they were very motivated as a result once they'd heard about the amounts involved. Since the event, we've actually had an explosion here in Ireland of people carrying their reusable cups, in particular in the cities. If you're actually walking down the cities, you'll see plenty of people carrying a cup, and an increase in obviously the number of cafes that have come on board since we actually had the event. We've had a lot of publicity that has taken place across radio and TV, and I would say also we've had a a huge increase in companies now who want to have disposable cup-free premises, and they actually want to know how to launch a campaign in their organization so that they can successfully ban disposable cups in the workplace and also in colleges and universities. And that's actually been great because we've been able to focus on large, groups of people, and it has been proven that behavior breeds behavior. So if one person's doing something, another person is likely to kind of take on that idea and work together to achieve the same goal. So this is a picture of one of the cafes here that participates, but we use our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, to promote all of the cafes as they join. We add them to our social media to keep that constant communication going. That's the Conscious Cup campaign, and that's the event that we held on Black Friday last November. And if there's any questions, I'd be delighted to try and answer them.
Thank you very much. Let's see in your question and answer section if you have any question.
Oops, sorry.
So since we're running a little late, I would suggest that if someone has a question, either we can do one now, otherwise maybe just write it in the Q&A section, and I'm sure Sorcha will be able to answer you directly in the chat.
Yeah, no problem.